Legend tales of a place where the booze flows freely and the stories are always entertaining. If you were bold enough to seek out such a place, head 13 miles down the Tuscan Highway to a tiny blues joint known as the Townsmith Tavern. Once there, enjoy the ride. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and Bowl.
Excuse me, you can't say that. You're gonna lose your family-friendly rating. You're gonna corrupt the kids.
BS! A podcast that invites you to grab a cold beverage, pull up a seat, and enjoy time with friends. And here are your hosts, Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS. I am the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder, still here hanging out with you. Welcome to this bonus edition of the wonderful Triple B. As always, I have my wonderful brosif from another musif of something of the sort. That is the one, the only, the Howard Blues. Welcome again, Howie. I'm glad you made it for this bonus edition.
You know, Tech tried to keep me from making an appearance, and I apologize for the webcam looking like, it's like 10 years old. But I'm here. That's all that matters.
It's true. You notice the different look from both of us. I upgraded, and you reverted 15 years. I don't know what the deal is, but whatever. It is what it is. I can move past that because tonight or today or in the morning, whenever you are, this is the time to enjoy because we have a very special guest, the first of the superstars to visit the Triple B, and that is one of our good friends from the band SAUL. That is Mr. Blake Bedsaul. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you guys so much for having me. We were chatting right before we got going on the show, but we've known each other quite a few years now, and it's nice to get back, chatting and talking and actually get back to talking about live music and live entertainment again.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go through, I guess, some of the standard questions like we've done before that you're tired of answering, the normal shtick of, oh, who the hell are you? Where are you from? Just get a quick 2-minute introduction to you and to the wonderful band that you're the lead vocalist of.
Okay. Yep. I am the lead vocalist of SAUL. We based out of Iowa, but we have our drummers from Ohio, our bass players from Lincoln, Nebraska. My brother and myself are both based out of Northwest Iowa. You may have heard the songs Brother, Trial by Fire, King of Misery. Now Looking to Fight is our new single out. Getting ready to hit the road and tour with, Atreyu Nonpoint. We'll be out with Any Given Sin. Last year got, ruined. We were supposed to be out with Hell Yeah and All That Remains and Butcher Babies, but we're coming back swinging again this year. We'll have new music coming up real soon. That's about it for right now.
That's perfect. I love it. That's a short, swift, and quick and easy, dirty answer. So you go back to, it's all good. Just a few years ago, right? But yeah. 2007, you guys are saying like, hey, we should put the band together, make this thing a reality, right?
Yeah. Well, we were in high school in 2007, and so we were playing. And really, what really pushed us to dive into and do it more as a career is we were young kids, 18, 19, right around there. And our local radio station, Z98 out of Sioux City, somehow we got nominated to be in this thing, and we won Band of the Year, Song of the Year with our very first single. And that really kind of drove us to continue to do it as a career, and it just kept going from there. It was crazy.
I love it. That's kind of where the best things start. Like, hey, you got some local support, and not only just the local support, like you're a local band, but really giving you the inspiration to start pushing forward. Hey, you know what? This is fun, and we can make something out of this. Because you started as a cover band, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, and I think generally everybody does. I mean, just to be able to learn how to play your instruments and sing the songs. I think everybody generally starts, singing their favorite songs, whether they're Bringing the Horizon or Disturbed or whatever it may be. You really dive in and get to learn your own writing style based on what you learned from everybody else. And so I think, yeah, honestly, that's the best way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So from switching to the cover band into writing the original songs, moving into the world of creation and doing your own thing, you started doing the writing process, making some recordings and whatnot, and tell us about what happened from there.
Yeah, and from there, that's really, and we did that, and that's really how we won, the band of the year and song of the year. Is we put out a single called Snow White, and that's really what propelled us into keeping to doing the writing thing. Because Zach and I, we had the old band, and we were called Unbreakable, and we broke up. I know the irony. So we had this band, this cover band, in high school, and we were like, man, we're gonna do it. We're gonna start writing our own music and do this thing. Well, once we started writing our music, the guys didn't want to write music anymore. They wanted to do the street dances and the 4-hour sets and getting the money and all that stuff. And and Zach and I just decided to jump ship and do that. And for a long time, it was hard because it was just Zach and I, doing everything, writing the music, paying for the studio, getting everybody to, together. And we were just a 3-piece. I was doing bass and vocals. He was guitar, backup vocals. And we had drummers come in. And it was hard. And now, finally, with our new album that we released, because we released our album, our EP Eons in, what was that, Will? 2019? 2019. Because we were his brother January 25th of 2019. So we released our EP Eons in 2019, and right before that, Will got in the band, our bass player. He sucks. He's an idiot.
Even though you got the helpline there, the ask a friend.
Right.
I had it in my notes too, because I remember. But it's all good. It's all good.
Right. So 2019, and we started getting a group. What we felt like it was a solid group together. Brothers started blowing up. We were the top 5 band on Octane, Sirius XM Octane. Right after that, we got signed to Spine Farm Universal, picked up a massive STG booking agency. We signed with 10th Street Management. They handle Motley Crue, Papa Roach, Bad Wolves, you name it. And everything just started snowballing into this monster thing. Our drummer at the time, Joe Nichols, stepped down. He decided to stay home and do a family thing. We got Myles sitting over playing NBA 2K with Will, losing terribly to Will at NBA 2K.
Great.
And so, and now we feel like we have an ultimate team. All the pieces are together. Will's the face. He can't do anything else. Literally, he's completely tracked. That's all he has going for him. Myles. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, so Will, he gets credit. He's the best looking member in the band. But we had this awesome thing happen to us the other day. He was trying to do a front flip on the trampoline and completely overshot the front flip. So he's got this huge rug burn going down his face. And we all feel really good about it going into our first show, Sturgis. And then we got all these festivals coming up, and Will's going to look like, the Elephant Man for a while. No, he's going to look like the rest of us. That's what it is.
Like the rest of us. Wow, man, the peanut gallery's at it tonight. I mean,
Yeah.
They don't have anything to say. They're not brave enough to come on the Triple B. So
Right.
You have something going for you. That's what I think.
Right. They're my cheerleaders.
Yeah. Of course, you need some better looking cheerleaders at that rate, though, right?
Right.
It's all good. I mean, I personally, I think that the two of you heading out of the original band, being that true core, really grinding through it, I don't have to tell you because you obviously know, but I think that made it a little bit stronger with the two of you to continue, lay that foundation, lay the groundwork. Like, this is what we want to accomplish. You got to the next level, and I mean, the level after that, and after that, and after that, and you're just continuing to kick ass. I can tell you,
Cool. Thank you.
from my personal point of view of remembering, and I did some date checking as well. And the first time that you rolled through town was in April of 2014, and I believe it was a little warm then, so we got to hang out, and again, a little bit inebriated a couple times around the time that you were here. We were having some fun though, and I remember that it was one hell of a show. So, that stands alone on itself. And then came back in 2015 in September. So again, still a little warm, and then came back in October of 2018. So we appreciate you coming through our neck of the woods on top of everything else that you have going. And then, of course, we'll talk about the dates coming up here right around the corner, which is another big reason that we're releasing this little bonus episode. So Sturgis and Minot and Fargo Moorhead coming up right around the corner. So again, set it for the millionth time. Thank you for taking the time to join us, because I know you guys are busy getting ready to get things rolling on the road. But let's digress a little bit to something a little bit better of discussing the music. So we'll take the time warp from when we were hanging out in the little tiny closet radio studio right here in Bismarck, singing, laughing, and joking, and maybe there was a little drinking going on. I can't confirm any of that for legal reasons. I hope the FCC doesn't see any of this, but
right.
It is what it is. I can drink now on this show, so cheers to you guys and all of your success. So let me do that first.
Thanks, sir.
Drinking some classy Belfour whiskey as well. So there, if you like the whiskey, give the old Belfour brand a try.
Good
by
stuff.
former Fighting Sioux goalie and former Chicago Blackhawks goalie Eddie the Eagle Belfour. So he's got some fantastic whiskeys out. So cheap plug. If he wants to sponsor us, you can call us. Just let us know.
Come on in, Eddie.
Yeah, help us out. So going back to 2014, I mean, you guys had some great music off of The Touching of Parallels. You know, how does when you were starting at that point, how did you really put your nose to the grindstone, keep on the success and the tours that you were on then to get to where you started the breakthrough with Brother?
You know, realistically, we were in a different mindset when we were doing the Touching of Parallels EP. Really, I mean, and it's blatantly obvious in the songs and everything how influenced we were by like Tool and Maynard, and like some of the songs are like 7.5 minutes long. You know, we did a remake of Pink Floyd's Welcome to the Machine that's like 7 minutes long. You know, which, I mean, granted, the original is like 7 minutes long, so I can't. That's not saying much. But So, but it's like one of my all-time favorite songs, and you know, and at that time is really what we wanted to do is hone in and like become better musicians. So we took the time to learn how to play in 7 and 5, and you know, writing some riffs in 15 and 13, and like learning really how to play, you know, the theory of music based on that album. And so coming out of that, I dove in and I told Zach, I'm like, I think we should really go more this direction. We really need to start diving in more to the mainstream market, you know, really. I mean, let's just be honest. So we need to start diving really more into the mainstream market. I want people singing the songs back with us. I want more of this anthem vibe. I want more, you know, of this, you know, mainstream appeal. And so Zach went with it. And so we started diving in, and the very first song we were writing in that sort of mindset was Bolide, and still we have, you know, a lot of that same mentality, and it's on the Eons EP where the songs in 3 and 6, the entire song, but it still broke us up into getting into songs like The Toll and Brother and you know, and stuff like that, and then moving into, you know, the album Rise, you know, Rises Equals, freaking Trial by Fire. It got us moving into more of that direction. So really the song Bolide is what brought us into that, and it brought us into the new generation and took us out of the old generation. So it was a cool thing. And Zach getting the, you know, his 7-string guitars and becoming, you know, gentleman, moving into that direction.
I mean, it's an awesome, you know, I like that. You couldn't see it because it switched over to me, but just giving the thumbs up for in the background there, like, oh man, thanks for mentioning me. I know that you're going to turn it around at some point and get those sons of bitches in on this, and so
I refuse to do it before Myles throws a tantrum after he loses.
Okay. We have as much time as that takes. I mean, if Jake has to go to sleep, I'll hang in there, no problem. We got plenty of time. We have plenty of time. So, at that moment, what kind of gave you the breakthrough? Like, what clicked in your head, all of your heads of like, aside from just wanting to, hey, let's try and appeal to a bigger audience. There's got to be something a little bit more. What if we do this? What if we do that? I mean, was there a little bit of that just kind of an epiphany at some point?
Right. I guess kind of, for sure, you know, a little bit of an epiphany, you know, and it really came down to writing the song Brother is what really took the idea. Okay, it really took the idea of becoming a little more mainstream, but then it flipped it on its head without how, you know, we knew what the song was about. You know, we wrote it for our brother that passed away in 2009, and we did that whole thing. We didn't realize the mass of people that were going to like connect with it wholeheartedly. And like, you know, for a song like that, you know, small town Iowa boys and just writing music, you know what I mean? So, and to become like one of the biggest songs, especially on rock radio in 2019, was astronomically huge. And like, you know, it's like 2 million views on YouTube, 7 million views on Spotify. I mean, it blew up, you know. And I really wish we could have got out more in 2020 to, you know, really blow that up. We only got a small window to tour in 2019 after we got signed. It was terrible. This last year really killed us. But as far as like an epiphany thing, I guess it really just dove in when we knew when we heard the finished product of Brother that this is the market, this was the style we were going to stay in. I think that's really what solidified it. And then seeing all the people come back and say how much it meant to them, we knew that this is where we wanted to be at. So
awesome. So first of all, just a cheers to your brother for being in your life. And I know that the song itself, the first time that I heard it just absolutely blew me away. So, you know, a cheers to your writing, your ability to bring all of that as not only memorialization for him, but also just to share that story with us. So thank you for that, you know, and a cheers to him.
Awesome. Thank you.
So like I said, the first time that I heard that, I was blown away. I'm like, this is really good. And I looked down at, I was listening to Octane at the time. I suppose I'll give them a cheap plug, even though they haven't hired me yet. Look down there and I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, these mofos are finally where they should have been 5 years before. And so me having played your music on the radio, on terrestrial radio, being there when we could play those songs and really like these guys, along with so many other bands, need to make that breakthrough. You know, I'm proud to say that I was one of the first people, or not the first, but in that first few years of, we can play this on the radio. I don't care what the corporate overlords have to say. I'm going to play this because it's damn good. People like it. And I know that there's going to be a reception from everyone. And like, especially when you're coming around, you can see it and hear it when everyone is at the show and they're singing your music back to you instead of showing up someplace. There's, 600 people there and they're like, just listen along. No, you know when it's gotten big and people are singing the song back to you. So, I'm thankful to have been a part of that.
Anymore. You know what I mean? You no longer have to sing yourself and you can hear them just singing it back at you. That's when I felt like we did it. You know what I mean? Like this is what it's like. You know what I mean? So that was a huge feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, well, you started getting a little bit bigger, a little bit more success, a little bit more airplay, more people jamming and discovering you in places, including the Killer Kidder show on Spotify. Just have to do a cheap plug there. One thing that we're, famous for on this damn show. But how about David Draymond?
Yep.
Tell us about that.
First off, super nice freaking guy. It was a pleasure working with him. He ended up becoming, he's a big fan of us, as weird as that is to say. I mean, it's Disturbed. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
They're freaking huge. He's a big fan of us. And like, so let me kind of go through the story a little bit. He caught wind of us, really, really liked Brother. Caught wind of the Trial by Fire, the second or a single we released off the record, and we hadn't released the record yet, and we were still kind of in the writing process. Long story short, the label and him ended up talking, gonna do a song together. Awesome. I don't care what happens, just schedule it, book it, don't give a shit when, cancel something, make it happen. So this is going on, we're talking. And David's on the phone. He's like, yep, I'm going to fly you boys out to Hawaii. We're going to write in my home studio. We're going to do it here and blah, blah, blah. Hell, yes, we are.
Yes. Yes, please.
So,
Hell yeah.
The world shuts down. We have to do it over Zoom in my garage.
Oh, man.
I know, right?
Of course it was. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. We are bags packed, ready to go to Hawaii, and the whole entire world shuts down. It would have been awesome. Some of those Zoom sessions we had back and forth, he's just sitting there drinking. We're just chatting the whole time. So, and then we're like, all right, see you same time tomorrow. And like some of them, we just ended up shooting the shit for, an hour, 2 hours and just hanging out and, talking about what's going on with the world and what it was like when they released Down with the Sickness and, shit like that, So it was cool to get to know him on a personal level. And we still text him and ask his opinion on songs or, what do you think of this album cover and stuff like that. And he's just, hey man, this is what I'm thinking. It's cool. You know what I mean? Even if we go the opposite direction of what we were thinking or what he was thinking, it's still cool just to have his opinion on things. Love the guy. Super great. So
that's cool.
Yeah, he's great. Not only him, we got to be really good friends with Morgan Rose of Seven Dust also on this record. I actually reached out. I knew he had a buddy, Jose, from over in Illinois, and we played with his band a couple times. 3 Years Hollow. Actually, we played with 3 Years Hollow, us, 3 Years Hollow, Blacklight District, and Saving Abel in Jamestown, North Dakota. And that's how we met Jose.
And I was at that show too, and we were hanging out at that show because I drove the piece of shit radio cruiser out to that thing.
right.
It's like the cab's like this big, and I'm sitting there driving like this, and just, I'm so cool driving this. Yeah, whatever. It's a Chevrolet SSR or SSR. Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
Okay, one of those.
Yeah. Yep, we were jamming. I remember introing you guys on the show and the stage, having a good time with there. But yeah, I remember hanging out.
When we were still a 3-piece. But so we met Jose there, and I've kept in touch with them, throughout the years, and we follow each other on Facebook and social medias and everything. And I'm like, man, he's doing a lot of work with Morgan Rose. I'm like, I'm just gonna reach out, see what happens, see whatever. And I'm like, hey, Jose, it's Blake from Saul, man. Here's my number. You and Morgan should get a hold of me sometime. Let's do a song for the album. I shit you not, within that hour, Morgan Rose is calling my phone number. He's like, hey, man, this is Morgan Rose. What's up? And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Morgan Rose just doesn't call me, And so I'm like, oh, man, this is freaking crazy. He's like, I'm gonna have Jose hop in, too. And so we three-wayed the phone call. And he's like, yep, let's make it happen. Like 2 weeks later, we're flying out to Illinois. And we wrote the song Inside for the record. And Morgan actually drummed the song. I mean, it was a really... Who doesn't, that's in the rock community, look up to freaking Seven Dust? So that was a really cool thing to be a part of. And through knowing Morgan and doing stuff with him and Jose, we've become really good friends with Barry Stock from 3 Days Grace, Sean Foyce from Breaking Benjamin. It's just been a wild ride. And just to be invited and included in those writing sessions, just off the grid stuff, with fans, buying tickets just to watch us in the studio. It's amazing. I love being a part of that. And that's something you always want to be, but I'm just glad to be involved in doing stuff like that now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, for what it's worth, I hope that my, 2 plays here and there of whatever got you a little bit extra on top of that, because it's always been an honor of being able to meet those guys, hang out with those guys, hang out with you, anybody who comes through. In fact, Richard Patrick of Filter, just a quick random side note, he played 2 different times here with Filter. I should say Filter came, and we hung out for the majority of the afternoon. He came to the radio station, dropped off, and we sat and did okay, let's just play whatever you want, Richard Patrick, with Filter songs and kind of guest DJ thing. And in between the songs, so the 2 of us hanging out, and we finished the time because he had to go back to the hotel, get ready for the show in the evening, and he's like, you know what, this was some of the most fun that I've had in a while, and it's because this is like the most real interview that I've had in a while. Same thing with Scott from Saving Abel. When we were sitting in the same studio, the same little closet that you guys were in.
Yep.
He's like, this is awesome. We're just sitting here having a conversation, talking about stuff. It's not like, well, hey, welcome to the show, and tell us about your new album. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's play your new single. Like, I'm here to have an interview, and that's what I'm hoping to do with this. And I know Howard's dying. He's got questions over there too. I'm hogging all the spotlight, so I apologize, Howard. But that's really what this show is all about as well, of just sitting here having a conversation, whether you're driving and listening to the podcast, you're sitting at home on a Friday night, having a couple brewskis or non-alcoholic, it doesn't matter. Just sit down, have a drink. That's what this show is all about. And so that's what this interview is all about too. So Howie, let me transition over to you before I start running my mouth some more. Okay.
No, not a problem, Kidder. I was expecting you to do a lot of the talking.
Okay. Okay. Calm down.
He's used to it, Mark.
Yeah.
When it comes to rock and roll, Kidder is definitely my guide to that. He's much more into that scene than I am. He's really pretty good about the whole, hey, Howard, check these guys out or listen to this and you'll like it. So it I knew he was going to do a lot of the talking. I do have questions, as he said. I haven't had a chance to meet you before, but I'm a historian by trade, and so I was doing a little digging today and such, trying to learn a bit about you guys for this. And one of the things that I'm always fascinated in is the craft behind things. And so you guys were talking about the songwriting process, and brother, as you guys have already talked about, was inspired kind of by the loss of your actual brother, and that. And it's one of those things that it got me wondering, when you guys sit down to write a song, are you coming in with the lyrics first, like, hey, we want to do this, we want we want to capture this moment or this feeling that we had from this event, or is it much more of a, hey, I got this cool guitar riff, and kind of build it musically? So it's kind of that, what comes first? Is it the lyrics or the music a lot of times with you guys?
Generally it always starts with the music. A riff or something like that. Generally always a guitar riff. I'd say 90% of the time, unless we do a little quick piece of programming that kind of sparks something. But yeah, and then let's just say like the song "Brother." We didn't go into the song specifically thinking we were going to write it for Caleb. This is what it's going to be about. It's like stuff just started spitting out of my mouth when we're just, in the woodshed, just writing the song. And then, before I even thought about what I was thinking, Zach's like, man, those lyrics are just like what, we went through with Caleb, write this letter, like all that stuff. I'm like, man, I was just kind of free, going with it free, just trying to get a melody. He's like, let's stick with it. So within like those first 2 practices, we knew what direction that song was going to go and what we were going to write that about. I'm trying to think with all your strength, is this how you leave was going to be like one of the lines, you know what I mean? And like, but it ended up being like, tell me, brother, what's my fate? You know what I mean? Like, so we switched it up and really dove in and really made it what that song was going to be about. But, yeah, generally, even today, we're in our practice part right now. And even just today, we were just free jamming woodshed and just roughing ideas. And, it always starts with some music and like maybe the guy, because it's harder, I think, to be the guy, behind the bass or behind the guitar and hearing exactly what cool. I'm like, that is freaking cool. And Zach's like, I was just riffing. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, Myles was playing a beat like, 30 seconds ago that would match up well. And then he tried to go back. And I'm like, that's the beat, and then all of a sudden we start woodshed. And I'm like, boom, man, this is the freaking verse. This is this is the main riff, So, yeah, generally that's how it is. And just woodshed. And we really like woodshedding. And that just means, just taking it back and just beating it to death until it freaking becomes something, So yeah, we really like doing that. So it's really awesome. That's one thing we really like about the writing process. And, songs like, because there's a difference. We did like, Don't Close Your Eyes, Trial by Fire. Gosh, what else? What other song? I can't remember right off the top of my head, but we just wrote that here before we hit the studio, and that's what they became. And there's a difference between studio writing, I feel anyway, and then just woodshed and writing, so it's just a good time regardless of what we're doing, but it's just a good time regardless. And it generally always starts with the guitar.
Yeah. It's one of the videos I kind of watched as I was, trying to learn a bit about you guys was, and I was telling Kidder about this before you came on. I caught your guys' video where you did an inspired playlist on Spotify. It was you guys sitting down talking music, and it was one of those things that is like, clearly these guys, love music, and a wide variety of different kind of artists came up through that, and it's interesting to see kind of all of the different groups that you guys listed off that kind of inspired you to get to this point. And I read in one article, and I just was curious if this is true, that when you started, because you played bass in the band kind of at the start, but that you learned the bass because your brother was in a cover band, and he came to you and said, our bass player sucks. Do you think you can do this? And,
that's in fact a true story. That is a true story. Yeah. And I'm like, 4 strings. I'm like, yeah, I can do it better than that guy.
Bam, done.
So seriously, like it was like that day or like a couple days later, I went up and bought a bass and an amp, and I've never looked back since.
And that's kind of an interesting, one way to do it. And now you're just the lead singer, and I know you've passed on the duties of bass to Will. Do you ever miss it though? Do you ever kind of sit there like, I'd like to just play the bass here on a song, or
Right. Yeah, and I'll rap out the, bass lines, just jamming, when I'm with the boys and it's just Will's taking a break or whatever, and I'll play some bass, but I don't miss the double duty on stage. I don't miss that. I don't miss being confined to a mic with the bass in my hand. Now, if I want to be at the mic stand, I can do that. If I want to walk around the stage and hold it, I can do that. I like that freedom. I like being able to jump on the subs out front and just get your ass moving. Let's go. You know what I mean? I like that feeling too. Yeah, but I do like this a lot better. I do play the bass. I still do play the bass, but I definitely don't miss it live on stage. I would like it if I was the bass player. You know what I mean?
yeah.
What does he have to say about that, right? It's like, you're replacing me already? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah. Well, and another interview that I listened to, and you guys kind of talked about this already, but you're moving from, as you called it, math metal to this live focus and really trying to create that anthem sound. And one of those things where I listened to the song the first time today because I was listening to some of it, but your song Rise of Equals.
Yep.
And that was really kind of cool to see that music video. And if I'm right, you guys filmed that in your hometown at an event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do. Okay, there's one show a year that Saul, the band, has complete control over. That the management and everybody just kind of steps away and like, all right, guys, it's your time. And we always do it right around Labor Day every year. It's like our small hometown's little celebration of the year. And so we shot the Rises Equals music video right dead center of COVID. In our little hometown, we had 900 people show up. Like
Awesome.
We had people flying in from Boston, coming up from Dallas. I mean, like North Carolina, all over were coming in and like just having a good time. And yeah, we shot that music video. Still one of my favorite music videos we've ever done. And it was just us playing one of our live sets, and everybody. And we have this mantra, and it's like, it's the bridge, this is my tribe. These are my people, brothers and sisters. You are my equals. And that was kind of our mantra. And that's how we feel. And that's how our fans really got their name is of equals. And the term Rises Equals came from. So, with that going on, with the song turning out the way it did, and all of us absolutely loving it, and then having the new album, we had to call the album Rises Equals, for the fans and how much power. I don't think bands realize how much power the fans have over them, or with them, really. You know what I mean? If you include your fans, they're freaking unstoppable. You make them part of your band. I mean, because they're so important. They're the ones buying your tickets. They're buying your merchandise. They're doing your GoFundMes. They're doing whatevers. You know what I mean? They're the ones that'll pick you up when your bus breaks down or whatever, So, yeah, we really, really try to incorporate our fans with doing that stuff. And yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it really shows in that video. And that focus on, again, that live stage presence and switching over to more of that kind of feel. I'm sure, this last year, 2020 has been tough on you guys in that sense. But I heard that it also allowed you, though, to work on some new material for the album. And if I recall in one interview, you guys said that normally you guys are kind of a slow writing process and it takes a while, but you guys actually cranked out some songs pretty fast during all of this.
Yes. Yeah, generally when it was just Zach and I sitting down, plugging away at it, it did take a while. We're brothers, so we're bickering back and forth about who's going to be right and what part's going to stay.
No, not at all. Not at
Will
all.
said that's an understatement, which he is right. Well, just one story, just to clue you in. We were down working with our producer engineer, Chris Dawson, and Zach and I just getting a normal argument. I mean, anybody that's in the band, like Will, they were just like, they'd brush it off. That's just Zach and Blake. They're bickering little girls. And we're down there with Chris, and Chris just gets up and walks out of the room, and he like gets into a mad sweat, and he's like, man, he's like, the band just broke up. And we're like, dude, that's our freaking Tuesdays at 2. What are you talking about? You know, like, man, I'm like, that was nothing. You should have seen how we were 5 years ago. That would have went to blows. So yeah, it was nothing, man. We're like the Oasis brothers, but we actually like each other.
Callback. Nice.
Right. And, you know, and to go back to your question, you know, our old, like, our progressive style with like math metal, more of that math metal 13, 5, 7 kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Not the norm. We still do carry that. We still say our style now is still progressive mainstream. So we still do carry that vibe.
Kidder kind of knows I tend to, if I am listening to metal, I kind of like more, what's the term? It's escaping me. Melodic metal. So
okay.
I like bands like Ghost is a good example of one, and such. So that's kind of where I tend to fall. But
okay,
I have to say, really impressed by your song "King of Misery." I listened to that today for the first time, and man, that's a good song. I just, and it's one of your new ones, right?
Yeah, it was actually just our last single that just got over with. Yeah, and that's the one we actually wrote with David Draymond from Disturbed. I love that freaking song, and it was weird. I mean, this is how we wrote the song with David. You know what I mean? It was very, very similar to this, just on a MacBook is what I was using, and I'm on my phone now, obviously. But this is how it was. Very sterile, very, you know, we had some lag here and there, stuff like that. Really kind of sucked. And we actually approached him with like 2 or 3 different ideas. And then we started working on them. Felt like we were beating a dead horse, working on another one, beating a dead horse. I'm like, stop. We just got to stop. We got to step away for a few days. Because I had the chorus line of King of Misery flowing in my head. And I'm like, we got to put music to this quick. And Zach's just doing doing this basic guitar line underneath it. That ended up sticking on Don't Mind Me, you know, doing this whole thing. David came in, heard it. He's like, gold, baby. He's like, I love it. But at the end of it, we had to get some of that David Draymond stank on it. So, you know, the King of Misery, you know, like get that high. Like, yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool, man. That rocks. And, you know, and then we ended up working on the song more and more, and then diving into that bridge, you know, the things will surely come. And it was a good time. It ended up being a good time. You know what I mean? It first started off as in like, man, big fans, you know, having a good time. And then once we got to work, it's like, man, this would be so much better in person. But then it all worked out and we had a good time in the end.
Have to say that I got chills when you were doing that just now, listening to the song live as the small little pieces and everything. So thank you for that, because that shit kicks ass right there. So I appreciate that. That's what I miss most about, you know, the radio thing of being able to talk to you as you're coming through, as a new single comes out, as different things like that, and being able to share this with the people, you know, on the other end of the airwaves. But so I'm super stoked that we can have this conversation again. So, whew, man, that was awesome. But I think Howie's got another question. I had to interject that though, because it's freaking awesome.
I got at least 2 more, and I'm sure some more will come up. But speaking of kind of the craft, you guys you're working on your first album. It's close to release, or it has released. What was that process like of putting that album together? Was there, you know, because it's always one of those things I think about is like when you guys are putting that together, is it easy to go, well, this song is the first song, this is second, this is third? Are there songs that don't make the album? You know, is there a certain feel you go for as you're trying to put this together?
You know, generally we always leave the playlist up to Will, our bass player, on how the album's going to go. So if people hate it, we can beat them with the rubber hose in the back of the bus.
Perfect.
You're right. Yeah, right. Yeah, get out of here.
He's running.
Yeah, that's actually how he got his face beat up.
He's running his mouth in the background. That's awesome.
Right. No, it's just one thing where it's just kind of, you know, we'll see how it plays out, and then everybody will just kind of throw their 2 cents in on how we want our songs to lay out. But Yeah, generally we always just kind of go. We just think, Will listens to it in order. He'll listen to it 15, 20 times, and every song starting and every song being after. So he kind of he's like, man, I think it should be this way. And then after we all sit down and we listen to it that way, we're like, cool, man. We're only 3 songs different on a couple parts anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, cool, just fine. We don't think too much into that, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
All right.
That was a great question.
Sorry, go back.
Yeah.
There is some songs that didn't make the record though. We do have some B tracks. We actually, the only time we've ever played it live is when we go to Sturgis, and it's a song called "Wage War," and I love the song. We knew we had a song or two that but wouldn't be on the record, so we just had to pick and choose which ones weren't going to make it. So that was one of them that didn't make it. But I love the chorus. It's "I'll wage your war with you because I know your demons and the fight's never fair. I'll wage your war with you." I can't remember now. It's slipping my mind, but it's really cool. Anthony's song. It's awesome. We only ever played at Sturgis. It's a good time.
So just throwing it out there that since David Draymond has helped a little bit in there, maybe you could pull a Disturbed and put out the Lost Children type album of all of these B tracks when you have, 15 of them. Just right there you go. There's a quick album for you. Yeah, not that I'm throwing out a suggestion or anything. But.
Right. And we do. And I mean, we're sitting on some more acoustic tracks. We're sitting on some we did some EDM versions of the songs on the record.
Awesome.
Just randomness. It's just a good time.
All right. My last question that I had kind of written down that I wanted to ask, and this one also goes to Kidder as well, because you guys are both fans of music. But way back when I was in high school, a drummer in our jazz band threw out this theory, this belief that he had. And so I'll put it to you guys. And the theory was that on any album, the best song of the album was always the 7th song on the album. And so I'm curious, with all the music you guys have listened to, do you think he was right with this theory? Or is he just making shit up?
I'm trying to think. My favorite album of all time, hands down, is 13th Step by Perfect Circle. So I'm trying to think of what track is the Outsider track 7. Can somebody look that up over there quick?
I got you.
Or just look up the track listing. Because my favorite song on that record is The Noose.
The Noose is track 3 on that. And The Outsider is track 7.
Oh, dude. Well, okay. All right. So in that being the theory, that was their very first single off that record.
Kidder?
Now, I of course relapsing maybe to my default go-to quote unquote favorite album of Master of Puppets, and track 7 on that album is Orion. But if I had to go with the overall favorite Metallica track, Master of Puppets is a pretty damn good track, and that's track 2 on that album. So I'm a little split on this because Orion is a good track. In fact, where'd he go? Hey, he's making his podcast debut. Here is Orion. He was just chilling over here. So there you go. So yeah. I think it's half BS, but we'll just have to play that by ear. So the next album, whatever you title it, track 7 is going to have to be your favorite. Now that you know that.
Will, what's our set list? What's of our album?
Our album list?
Yeah.
Why? What are you asking for?
What's track 7?
I want to say it's Inside.
Is it Inside? You made it.
This is
Get the
great.
hose. Fetch me a switch.
Yep. Just start smacking.
It is Inside? Okay. No, I think I don't know. Definitely one of my favorite to play on live is Okay, I got 3 that I absolutely love playing live. Rises Equals, Brother, and I love playing Don't Close Your Eyes live. It is just, it's pure fun. You know, it's got like 4 bass drops in it. Will's twirling around with his bass. It's just a good time. It's just a good time. Yeah, but you know, the involvement with the crowd on Rises Equals, we got this big thing in there where we break down and do the bridge. You know, this is my tribe, and we do have everybody do this and take a picture with it because this is sign language for equals. And yeah, it's just a good time. And then everybody just screaming the words to Brother towards the stage is just awesome.
And the other thing, you know, so I want to put a little counter thought to that, because typically from my experiences, like the first single that the bands usually put out is track 2. And I don't know if there's science behind that either, but track 1 is usually like your intro to the band, and then track 2 is your top 40 rock hit, if you will.
Right.
So Looking to Fight would be your track 2 on that. So
right. Yep.
As we're going forward in promoting Looking to Fight and all of the rest of the tracks on Rises Equals, I mean, there's a little bit of science to that, maybe.
Maybe.
But do we want to give Will that much credit? That's the question for you.
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Okay.
Anything that
Awesome.
that happens in the band, I am the singer. It was from me. I did it.
Anything good, right? Yeah.
Anything good.
Perfect. I love it. Man, just thinking about all of the music that you're playing now, where you're starting out. Let's start at this point of what can you tell us is in the lineup for new music coming out? Because I know you're still promoting Rises Equals, but there's always something floating in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
You always got something kind of that you're twanging to, or whatever the case is. So what can you share with a couple good brothers here?
Well, I can tell you that we are officially going to start hitting the studio early next year. Really, this year is about getting in front of faces and being able to go thank the people that were buying the album and everything, you know, live, you know, rocking out, you know, getting some energy out. So that's going to be the focus for the remainder of the year. And up until this point right now, we're booked all clean solid till December 17th. I'm expecting a baby September 3rd. So I got
Congratulations.
that. Thank you. I have a girl, but we are having a boy now. So I'm looking forward to that.
Wonderful.
So
it's going to be a busy year for Blake.
oh yeah, it's going to be crazy busy. I mean, we got tons of dates coming up, and yeah, and then hitting the studio right at the beginning of 2022, and then much more touring and releasing an album.
That's
just
what
insane. We got going on. So
this is insane. 2022. Just hearing you say that, I mean, that's some bullshit right there. Like, where's the time gone since 2014 when we were hanging out, getting blitzed at 9 o'clock in the morning? I mean, or staying blitzed, not getting. It was staying, because you can't get hungover if you're still drunk.
Getting rehydrated, yes, is what I call it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vocal lubrication. That was always my excuse. You have a couple brews and yeah, good to go. Yep, Metallica time. Okay, good. Yep.
Yeah.
That of course was one of my things on the radio, but I know the guys are getting a little anxious back there, or at least they're giving you crap. First of all, who won?
Well, who went? I am assuming Myles lost. He did stomp off, right?
Oh, Myles stomped off. He went inside.
Okay. Myles stomped off.
In the middle of the second quarter.
He went inside in the middle of the second quarter. You must have been killing him.
It was that bad.
Larry Bird again?
No. He chose the all-time cast.
What an idiot. You want to see what these guys are doing?
Hell yeah. Bring us into your world if you want to. That's phenomenal.
All right. Sorry, I closed you out there. These nerds.
Oh, that's all right.
What?
First time I've ever played a game.
Oh, see, they even got them sitting on our ego risers.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
All right. We're getting ready. These are our light truss. I actually have you sitting on my mic stand where I was doing my interview.
Hey,
Got
that's perfect place for it.
Yeah, I know, right? It's about perfect. Yeah, so we're actually just getting ready to load this stuff up in the morning, tomorrow afternoon probably. Yeah, so we do this all this out of my garage. So I finally had to go out. I got this air conditioner. It's working its butt off, but at least it's like 75 degrees in here. It's usually like 100. So it's a lot better.
That's awesome, man. I mean, it's great to see where all the stuff happened, the magic, you know,
The magic
the
happens,
place. Yeah. And the garage opener saw that up at the top there, so that's that's perfect. We can see the overhead door opener. It's great. No,
Right. And like, since we've gotten this house, it's never been used as a garage, not once. I literally got this house based on the garage size, and it's heated. Now I got an air conditioner, and it's like perfect spot for us to do everything we want.
it sounds like you might need a bigger house, or perhaps a shop, or some kind of a studio outbuilding. Just build something completely outrageous, and
Right.
then I'm gonna make Howard take time off, and if you're willing, we'll drive our ass down there and hang out, and we'll make some magic of our own, whatever that
Yeah.
means, right?
Right.
I apparently have the knack of naming songs. At least one other band I have an album credit on. If you remember the dudes from Another Lost Year,
Yes.
from North Carolina, they ended up crediting me with the song because I debuted it on my show on terrestrial radio, but they remembered as I was about to play the song that they hadn't given me the name for the song yet. So maybe on the next one, if you want to throw it my way, we could debut it on the Triple B. I'm of course being completely facetious because I want you guys to be successful. So there's at least that.
Yeah. Hey, I will consult you though when we are naming the tracks though. Might as well.
Whoa.
Hey, what if we don't have a title for it? You just listen to the tracks and throw out a couple titles.
Well, I could think of no greater honor to help you guys out with that. If you want to come back on the Triple B, I'm totally fine with that. You know, you're always
I'm
welcome
down.
on this show. We have a bunch of fun here, and that's the whole point. Like I said before we started, this is just about us getting together, BSing, talking about our day, talking about our week, and
Right.
you know, aside from having some actual celebrity star power on this show, you know, it's great to just promote your ability to drive up here, get in front of people, like you said, have some good times, and share the music. And it's tearing my heart apart that I'm going to be halfway across the country when you're up in my neck of the woods. So that pisses me off. But
Right.
I just need to learn how to schedule my vacations better. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Well,
Or
you know, with the scheduling, everything's going. It's been so bizarre anyway. It's like, you know, we're booking these 3 shows like, oh, we better get them out because they were booked like, you know, 2 months ago. And it's like everything's just falling into line all weird. So, I mean, I completely understand you not being around because you might have booked that 2 months ago or something, you know what I mean, of going on vacation.
Yep,
Yeah.
it was about 5 months ago when I ended up booking it, because this is available, this is what's going on, and just wait for the airline to be able to book the flight for it. So
Yep.
it just sucks that it has to coincide again with missing you guys, and then also 10 years and
10 years.
who else? They're playing in Fargo Moorhead, right, with you guys?
Yeah, we're doing. Do you pronounce it? Is it okay? Now you corrected me while I was up there because I was a Spokane guy. You remember that?
Oh yeah, yep. I
Spokane,
do.
Washington. And you were like, no, it's Spokane. Because you made fun of me. You're like, oh, you're one of those guys.
Because you can go there.
Is it Minot?
Minot. For some reason, the people up there don't pronounce the O. They like to put a U in there, and I don't know if it's. I mean, I'm quite Scandinavian, if you couldn't tell.
Okay.
But I don't ever remember in any of the Scandinavian heritage that I'm aware of, with living relatives in Norway, of it being the O turning into a U. I'm not quite sure, but everybody up there is like, we're in Minot. All right,
Okay.
the magic city of Minot.
Oh, I had a buddy correct me down here too, because I was like, it's in Minot. It's Minot, North Dakota. And he's like, no, dude, it's Minot. So now it's what? Not Minot?
I will. Yeah, right. It's like, okay, where are we? Going to Pierre, South Dakota. Oh,
yeah.
Right. He Howard's gonna love that one because he lived in South Dakota for a time. By the way, this show is apparently big in South Dakota. So thank you, South Dakota, for watching this show. But
thank you, South Dakota.
Minot. If you want to go for the poor man, straight up, like more right than wrong, Minot. Why not Minot? The Magic City.
Is that their slogan?
It's one of them, yes.
Okay, awesome. I love it. So yeah, because we're doing the original bar and nightclub. So we're doing Sturgis with 10 years, and then we're bouncing from Sturgis all the way over to eastern Iowa, right on Mississippi. We're doing Riverfest in Fort Madison, Iowa. We're headlining Sunday night, and then we are going straight to Minot, North Dakota, the original bar and nightclub with 10 years, and then the Fargo Brewing House, the hall at the Fargo Brewing Company with 10 years as well. It'll be good. And then August 14th, we're also with 10 years, Hailstorm, Through Fire for River Riot in Council Bluffs, Iowa. So that'll be a fun one as well.
Wonderful.
So we're meeting up with 10 years quite a few times in this little time period.
Yeah. Aside from seeing you guys putting on an awesome show, 10 years put on an awesome show here, same venue that you played, of course, not at the same time. And the other bands that you're playing with, Through Fire, for instance, love listening to those guys and hearing your stories about them as well.
Yeah, they're good dudes. We did a tour with them last. It was the very last tour we did in 2019. I think it ended December 15th. And that was a good time. We've known those guys for a long time. They're just from south of us, a couple of hours. So yeah, we've known them for a long time. So it was really cool to get to do a tour with them.
So since you're talking about different bands and being, on the road with them or getting to know them and whatnot, I know you don't want to go down the worst tour stories and whatnot. So give us a couple of the, best highlights of different bands while you've been on the road and whatnot. Just a little behind the scenes sharing.
I say one of the best times we've had was really on that Through Fire run. I mean, really getting to know the guys from Broken Love. Justin, the singer, he's from Canada, and then the rest of the guys are out of New York City. Those guys were funny dudes. We'd come in, we always talk crap to each other. I mean, it's like our thing. It's what we do. To and about. I mean, just to get a laugh out of people. And what was the drummer's name now? Their drummer? Yeah. Russ, dude. He'd come in and it'd be like after our song, you trash, you garbage, just like your father. Like a total New York accent, and it was just Jersey accent. Just like your father, and just like doing all this stuff all the time. That was a really good time getting to know those guys, and man, they like to rage. It was a good time. It was a good time.
That's awesome. So let's shift gears slightly. Favorite band other than SAUL?
My favorite band?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's tough. All time?
Absolutely.
God dang.
I know, but we're here to ask the tough questions, right?
I gotta go. That is a tough question. There's so many good bands and songs. I gotta go with The Perfect Circle.
Mm-hmm. Good choice. How about in the go ahead and explain A Perfect Circle. Give me a why. I know Maynard James Keenan and whatnot.
Right. I mean, when Judith came out, banger of a song. I was listening to Judith and Hey Man Nice Shot just on repeat back to back. I mean, I must have been pretty depraved at the time. I don't know what the hell was going on in here, but it ended up being okay in the end.
Yep.
It's some good old filter. Yeah. Hey man, nice shot. And then it'd go right into Judith. I didn't know what I was doing. But just
That's
based
called
on
being
that,
a radio DJ, just so you know.
right.
Been there, done that.
right. And then, when 13th Step came out, I just, hands down, I just pushed play one time, listened all the way through, and I just realized right there I never had to skip a song. And that's really, just going back to our album, that's really what we were trying to do on Rise as Equals as well. Just being able to push play and just going like banger, 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 banger. You know what I mean? Just like, boom, I love every track. Man,
Absolutely.
my phone is this close to dying, just so you know.
Oh, your phone is? Oh man,
Yeah.
we gotta get to the charger.
Get
All right.
the charger.
So just we'll try and make this last as long as we can, and of course promoting the upcoming dates again. But how about most obscure band like that you're embarrassed that you like?
Embarrassed?
Like ABBA or something?
Have you ever heard of Placebo?
Yeah.
The band Placebo? I don't know if that's obscure, but I love Placebo. Like Running Up That Hill. That is such a good song. Man, I don't know if there's anything. I like Jim Croce, Bread.
Yeah.
I really, man, one of my jams, I don't know about if it's embarrassing either, but generally when like my wife and I are just playing cards, we'll play, rummy or something like that. We put on like the best of the 50s. We're jamming out to the Temptations and Elvis and stuff like that. I listen to stuff that's really not in our genre most of the time.
Sure.
I
totally get that. Yep. I totally get it. I was just waiting for like, I secretly like to listen to the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears on my days off, or something like that. I'm
let's
totally
be honest
fine
here. You
with
can't mess with the
50s.
Millennium album.
That's true. It was a powerful album. Still a powerful album.
Shit.
Man, I turned on 90s on 9 the other day, and what the hell was it? I think it might have been one of the Backstreet Boys songs, and I'm sitting there like, I know every freaking word of this song, and it's been out for 20 years. I'm like, I don't know if that's cool or if it's kind of stupid, but it's still rattling around up here, and I don't know.
Right.
But awesome. Yeah. Well, any final closing thoughts aside from, hey, come on out and see us?
No. Oh, yes. Actually, I do. We've actually started our own app. It's called the Equals Rising app or the Equals app. It's really awesome. We're really in the early stages of figuring out how to use it. But when we get out on the road and we start getting back into writing sessions and getting into the studio, it's going to be the best place. We're not going to be posting that private information, that private stuff on major social medias. We're going to be keeping that stuff to the app, and you can download it through Apple, through App Store, Android, outlets, anything like that. And it's going to be really, really cool. We have stuff up there already. We launched it about a month ago, I'm thinking. Right, we launched it with Looking to Fight. Nope, 2 weeks ago today. Yep, 2 weeks ago today. Right with Looking to Fight, we launched the app, and it's going to be a really good time coming up real soon. It's awesome. It's going to be really cool. And other than that, we're getting ready to hit the road. Like I said, we have Sturgis and all these shows coming up, a lot of these festivals. You can catch us at Incarceration, Blue Ridge Rock Fest, Rebel Rock in Orlando. We're going to be doing a Midwest East Coast run with Nonpoint, Any Given Sin, Dropout Kings, Kingdom Collapse. We're going to be doing a run coast to coast, east to west with Atreyu, Crown the Empire, Tetrarch, and I can't remember the opener. My bad.
We'll put it on the
Atreyu.
screen. Future Howard will take care of that. We got at least the next couple ones.
It starts with a D, dude. Help me out, Will. Defy Decay.
Defy Decay.
I got it first.
No, I did. You were just a little bit quicker, but I got it first.
Yeah. Okay. I said it. Okay, I said it first, but you got it first.
I said it quicker. You got it first.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
That's
so
great.
Defying Decay, it's going to be awesome. We're hitting the road. We're doing a lot of stuff. Expect a lot of headlining stuff in 2022. Man, a lot of stuff going on. New music's going to be coming up faster than I think people realize. It's going to be cool. Get over to the app if you want to see behind the scenes stuff. It's a lot going on.
I'm super excited. I mean, the fact that not only you're coming up here, you're back on the road, but also you have this ability to connect with us on this end of the speakers, you know, because I know everybody doesn't get a chance to sit down and have this kind of BS talk with you. So we're super proud to have. I love what's going on in the background too. Whatever it is.
Okay, we have an issue around here. Will schools everybody in this NBA 2K. He never moves his back row, dude. So, you know, old Billy or whatever movie, Tommy Boy. But he always schools everybody in NBA 2K. So my brother Thatcher's over there just having a fit about it.
This is what he does.
I know it's what he
I don't
does.
know if he gets paid for it, but this is what he fucking does. And he challenges people.
I know.
No, it's
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I'll play the crappiest team, but it doesn't matter if you're the best player, idiot.
This is great. Do now. I mean, since the peanut gallery is already active, do they have anything that they want to say to our little show here? I mean, do they actually want to say hello, or are they too busy for it?
I don't know if Thatcher's throwing a fit. Will, do you want to come say anything, or do you got anything to add?
What do you mean asking?
He's got that brain dead look because he's concentrated on the game.
Yeah, like basketball. I'm in it here.
Yeah. No, I think that's about it. But here he comes.
Oh, well.
I fell on
Welcome.
a trampoline. You guys
Welcome
notice
to the
my
show.
owies?
Are you sure it was a trampoline, or you know, you're in a safe place? You can tell us what
It was
happened. You're in a
actually-
safe place.
Get rid of the O-lean. And that's what I fell on.
Yeah, face first.
I love it. Hey, thanks for coming on the show. I mean, this is what we're all about.
Anytime.
Anytime. I love it. No, I was trying to be sneaky here and try and get on the app and download it real quick and then show that you know, I too am in the app, but the search algorithm is not playing well with me right now. So I'm just gonna throw that over there off to the side.
Android or Apple?
I got the not the Apple. I am very much anti-Apple, unfortunately.
Oh,
So
you
I got
are?
the Android.
Okay. I just put in SAUL equals app. See if it
Here
pops
we go.
up. I'm curious. I only use Apple.
Well, this is a great test and what we're all about on a triple B. Oh man.
Say this is the part of the show where we've gone to just Kidder looking at his phone. The viewers are riveted.
I could find it somewhere. This is so here's what I'm ending up getting as the first results, not in focus, but it definitely is not the app that I'm looking for. So I'm waiting for some Jedi magic to happen. It's very disappointing for this the app
I'll send you
store.
the link.
Perfect. I'll be waiting for it. We'll get it,
Right.
and then we'll share screenshots so that we know that I found. Just feature Howard. Just put that right here. You got that. No
Or
problem.
hey, you can go to saulofficial.com and download it.
Let's push the buttons.
Now let's
make
see.
the
Okay,
magic
let's
happen.
get back to the phone thing. Yep.
Doot, 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 doot,
Man, I
doot.
wish I would have given you something really obscure and just pulled up like this crazy porn thing or something that was gonna be super loud or something.
You just hear like
Yeah. BlueWaffle.com or something. Yeah.
all right. getting the subscription. Here we go. There it is. Oh, I gotta get a code to my email. Yeah, this will be quick, no problem.
Yeah, I don't know if it is.
It's all good. It's all. I'm more so making fun of the fact that the technology is just doing what it's doing and not working with me. So, we're step one, confirming my email. That's kidder@beerbluesbs.com, by the way. What? Give us things you like to do on the road. How about that? Like, while you're sitting there driving from place to place. I mean, you play like different games, or what kind of things?
Generally, we look at our phones, listen to music, and generally, the road driving time, honestly, for me is a lot of thinking time. We just generally have conversations like, what I was thinking, we could really do something different with the lights on this, or, it'd be a lot easier if we remade this case, and did something like that. So we generally talk a lot on the road, but when we definitely need quiet time, everybody's got their own headphones in. We're just chilling and, jamming to our own tunes. I got Temptations going. Will's got freaking Mr. Bungle. Miles has got, I don't know, some Britney's pop punk or Britney Spears or pop punk remakes of Britney Spears songs or something. I don't know.
It's probably the 30 variants of Toxic by Britney Spears. Every variant that could ever be. Every version possible.
Yeah.
In the plus side, how about that? Look at that bitchin' technology on the Triple B.
Yeah.
We got it. So, thanks for sharing with me, and of course, we'll share the link in the comment notes over here as well to, of course, the SAUL official page and everywhere else that you can get found. I guess you're on all of the socials: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everything in between.
Yep, every single one of them.
Wonderful. And the tour dates on there as well. Tickets, all that information right there on every single page.
Yep, it's on every single page. But, if you want direct links to tickets, to the app, to the music, to the merchandise, saulofficial.com's got everything. So it's got all links directly to whatever you want, to our Spotify, to our YouTube, to our whatevers. You know what I mean?
I like the confused look off to the side. You're like, what now?
I'm on the back side of the TV. I can't see why they were screaming like little girls. Oh, Thatcher actually scored on Will. Okay, good job. Oh, he nailed it right after. Okay,
right here. Just clap. Awesome.
The applause.
Awesome. So, I had to thank you. Appreciate that. So, hey, you know what? I don't want to keep you any longer than we have already kept you. We typically will do an episode anywhere from 45 minutes to 2.5 hours. So you are always welcome on the show, even if it's for a couple minutes, giving us a quick update. Hey, we're in this town, this place. We're doing this. We're jamming this riff. You and the guys are always welcome on the show. So be safe out there. Thanks for joining us. Closing comment. The floor is yours, my friend.
Closing comment. Through all of the 2020 and everything that we had to deal with, make sure you get out and support live music, whether it's us or it's anybody else. The music industry was really devastated through everything that was going on. So get out there, support live music, buy a ticket. I know most people were bankrolling pretty hard during the pandemic, getting, the $600, $300 bonuses. So it'd be nice to get out there and spend it on some live entertainment. So hope to see you guys out there.
I couldn't have put it better myself. So I'm just going to leave it at that. My signed SAUL EP from 2014 is sitting right over there. And
nice.
The one thing that I do need to get on the SAUL shop is some nice threads that I can rock on this show too. So I'm gonna hop on the app and the web store, see if I can find myself some stuff. Since I'm not gonna be at the damn show to shake your hand and get a signed album in freaking person, so
Right.
that's a personal problem. So before I wrap this little thing up, Howie, you got any closing thoughts? To toss the floor over to you, since I know you enjoy this sort of thing, and I'm running my mouth again.
No, this is this has been a lot of fun, and as I said, I haven't got to join Kidder at any of your live shows, but getting to listen to some of your tracks today, just learning about you guys, really enjoying what I'm hearing, and looking forward to hearing this new music that you guys are putting out soon too. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. So
awesome. Thank you. If you like any slower tracks, maybe you would like the track Levy on the record.
All right. I'll have to make
if you want to check that out. It's more piano, like acoustic guitar kind of driven thing.
Yeah, I know I listened to both to the original of Brother, and then I found your guys' acoustic version of that. And
okay.
Boy, kudos to an excellent acoustic track on that. That was beautiful. And it was one of those things when I listened to just kind of the original track, it was before I knew the backstory of the song. And so, yeah, I read about that, and then I heard that acoustic one. And it was very touching in that sense. So, yeah, it was a cool track in that case.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, again, I can't thank you enough. From a couple good brothers to another couple good brothers on your end. We here at the Triple B really appreciate you taking your time out of the basketball schedule and practice schedule as well to come join us for this little shit show with shenanigans like it usually is. But it's much appreciated. Hope you had some fun, and we'll catch you out on the road, as it were.
Awesome. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll talk to you soon.
That sounds good. I'm on the merch store right now, so you can expect an order from me shortly.
Very good. Awesome.
Thanks again, Blake. Really, you too. Really appreciate it. Say hi to everybody else for me, and again, really appreciate you taking the time. So,
we'll do.
Thanks, man. You be safe. Awesome. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep. See you guys.
All right. Bye.
I gotta say there, Kidder, really, really kind of cool to talk to him. As I said, today was my first day really listening to their music, and really enjoyed some of the stuff I heard. So I might have to check out more of their tracks and such when I get a chance. So.
Well, of course you do, because they're a damn good band.
Yeah. Raises the question, though. Why haven't you recommended them sooner?
I think I did back in 2014. You can keep getting closer to the camera, but I know that I said, hey, you want to come to the show with me? And I'm pretty sure that you said, no, I'm too busy for you. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you said around that time.
It all depended on the night and what I had going on with it. And, I was probably still traumatized from the time that you, I don't remember which band I went with you to that had like the two Screamo bands like before them.
Did that happen to be the band singing a song about a shark?
Yeah. They, for the audience, the only thing I remember about that band is one, they sing a song about a shark. Actually, there's three things. Two, they had the weirdest sound check of all time. Because this guy, it was a Screamo band. So this guy, and he was wearing like khakis, more of like a turtleneck kind of sweater thing, glasses. And he's sitting there on the mic doing the whole... I need this monitor up a little bit louder, please. Yeah, I can't hear the drummer. Can we get that? So that was the second one. The third thing was these guys' whole stage presence performance thing was about every other song to yell out to the crowd, "What's this next song about?" And they didn't really hear what we had to say, but they always said, "Yeah," and would go into the next song. So I would start yelling out things. So it was like, "What's this next song about? Puppies! Yeah!"
Yeah. That was good. And I'm glad that I had earplugs because then I didn't blow my hearing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a good time. Good
Yeah.
time. It's a good time. So, yeah, fantastic that Blake joined us for the show here and this bonus episode. Make sure you check them out on the road because they are coming to our area, since we're big in South Dakota. They're hitting Sturgis right here on Saturday the 7th. Then they again go back to Fort Madison, Iowa for Riverfest. Then on the 10th, they're up in Minot near the Air Force Base there. Not quite, but they're at the original bar and nightclub. And then the following day, the 11th, they make the trek to the Fargo Moorhead area, and they're at the Hall. So make sure you check them out. Then they head back to Council Bluffs, Iowa on the 14th. Head over to Wisconsin, Virginia, Ohio, New Hampshire, New York, Michigan, Indiana, West Virginia, Florida, and Alabama by the time they are halfway through September. So wherever you're joining us from, the full list of their tour dates and tickets is on their website at SAUL Official. Let me make sure that I said that right, because I know I created the graphic. Yes. So you can find out all of their tour dates and ticket information at saulofficial.com. Also great merchandise, and you can check out their little mobile app over here and check that out on their website, saulofficial.com. So big thanks to our friends Zach Blake, Will, and Myles for joining us, learning all about what they've been up to since the last time I had the privilege of talking to him in 2014. For Howie Blues, he's Howard at beerbluesbs.com. I'm Kidder at beerbluesbs.com. You can check us out anywhere online, Podbean, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, everywhere in between. So if you're joining us for the Saul interview with our friend Blake, then if you would, please hit the subscribe, join us for some future episodes. And if not, this is a one-off. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you. Free beer tomorrow. We'll catch you next time down the old Tuscon Highway. So thanks for joining us, Beer Blues and BS, the old Triple B. You have a fantastic one.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
Other than that, I guess just to think before we can start, we'll get things. Hopefully, Jake's hoping to get it all edited and whatnot, and then uploaded to YouTube, Podbean, and then that goes out to everywhere: Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Apple
Nice.
Podcasts, Google Podcasts. So we're on every podcast thing that you can do, and then the video will be on YouTube. What were you saying? Hoping Friday at the latest.
Friday the latest. I'm hoping tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. It might be a late night
Okay.
tomorrow, but we're gonna try. So
Right.
And it'll be my birthday present because we're 2 hours away from my birthday. So it's
What the? Okay, somebody get me a beer.
all right. What do they say? You don't need one?
Anyway.
Oh,
Huh?
oh, okay. Well,
Miles just yelled at me, "Get your own damn beer."
oh, well, come on, damn lackeys.
I know.
Who
I know it.
do they think they are? This is a bunch of bullshit.